Hello everyone. In this lesson, we are just deal with more about nested loops. Especially we are taking for loop, and with this video we can see how nested for loops will work. Suppose you have to print this type of code. I mean 1 2 3 4 5 in a single line, then in the second line it's again 1 2 3 4 5, and in the third line it's again 1 2 3 4 5. Since somebody requested me to that he needs more knowledge about this, that how the nested loops will work, that's why I'm going to tell you everything in quite detail. So let's take this first example. So if you want to print this type of pattern, what you have to do, let's see. First of all, you must know how many rows are there. So there are 3 rows. So your outer for loop will work for 3 times. Let's suppose for I in range 4, or you can say it's better that you can start with 1 and go till 4. So what happened? If you are writing for I in range 1 to 4, that means the values of I will be 1, then 2, then 3, and then loop will terminate. So if you are going to print the values of I, and let's see what it will print. It will print 1 2 3. Now suppose now this 1 2 3 will be printed in the new line. So what you have to do, if you want to print 1 2 3 in the same line, you have to give a comma, use the end function, and you have to use this function like this, end single apostrophe. Just check it. It will print 1 2 3 in the same line. This is only the first part. That means how you can generate 1 2 3 in a single line. It's done. But this thing will be repeated 3 or 4 or 5 times. So actually you don't want to print 1 2 3, you want to print 1 2 3 4 5. So here your your final value will be 6. In that case it will print 1 2 3 4 5. So the first line will be printed. Now this whole thing will be repeated. This 1 2 3 4 5 will be printed in 3 lines. So we have to use a nested loop. Let's see how we can use. Go for a nested for loop here and just write for, suppose let's take a variable j, another variable j, in range, and here you have to make a little change, that you need 3 lines. So and 3 lines, and the numbers will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. So the above statement I can use here 1 to 6, and here I have to write j. So the inner loop will print the same thing that we have seen earlier. For j in range 1 comma 6, print j end is equal to this. That means this inner loop will print 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. Now this thing will be repeated 3 times. That means your outer for loop will go for range 1 to 4. Now let's see what will be the result. Here the problem that I face is that it will print 1 2 3 4 5 and again 1 2 3 4 5 and again 1 2 3 4 5, but everything will be the same, will be in the same line. So what do you have to do? Actually, when your inner loop will be completed, that means when it will print 1 2 3 4 5, after that whenever it starts the second line, that is again 1 2 3 4 5, it should start from the next line. So here when your nested loop completed, or you can say when your inner loop completed first time, you have to give a blank line. So for this you need to give a print statement. So what happens here? The inner loop, whenever the inner loop completes, inner loop completes after 5. So when it will complete, before going to taking the value of next I, it will give a next line. This is the output that you required. Once again, we are just analyzing the code, what is going on. Again, let's delete this code. Okay, and since you have to print this code, you have to print this code. This pattern you have to make. So here also you need to count first how many rows you want. So actually you want 1 2 3 and 4 rows you want. So your outer loop will go from 1 to 5, and thus it will take the values 1 2 3 and 4. That means 4 times it will work. So it will create 4 rows, and the inner loop, which will create the columns. So how many columns you want here? We want 7 columns. That means the inner loop will starts from 1, but it will goes to 8. So for this your code will be going like this. First of all, we have to write for outer loop, let's say XA, for A in range. Give the starting value 1 and the ending value will be, how many rows you want? You want 4 rows. So your ending value will be 5. First loop will work for row. Now the inner loop for B in range, the inner loop will print 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That means it will start from 1, goes to 8, and then you have to write a print statement. If we print B and just leave it, so it will print 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 every time in a new line. So you need to give end is equal to this. Just check it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So here one more statement should be there, as whenever we are completing the first line, we need a blank line. So you have to give print, a blank print statement here. Now let's check. So here we have the required output. Thank you.